So please come to the seat that is yours, and you can rest your hands in your lap where they're comfortable for you. You're welcome to close your eyes. And as you arrive and you settle into your seat, into your body and your practice, also let go of, set aside anything that's not relevant to your practice right now. In the practice and the teachings of yoga, we do have this sort of spirit of taking refuge. We take refuge in the teachings, we take refuge in the community. We have specific times of day for taking refuge, for remembering or giving gratitude for. And in the tradition of Buddhism, we say we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, in the teacher, the teachings, and the community. And I'm going to invite you to sense that in whatever way is personally meaningful to you, as you arrive for your practice, what are you taking refuge in this morning? Refuge can mean many things. It might mean, for example, having a place of shelter, a place where you feel held and, for now, sheltered from the other demands of daily life, so that you have this renewal and you are reminded about how to proceed in your daily life responsibilities. Refuge can also mean a place of solace, a place where you feel this a quality of warmth or welcome, kindness, a kind of solace, a non-rejecting quality. Taking refuge in a practice or in your community or the teachings can also mean specifically not then taking up other practices or behaviors that would prevent you from feeling that you're at your best. In other words, taking refuge here also means that you're not right now lost in one of the addictive processes that you might have in your daily life. And sometimes taking refuge does mean we're getting away from something that might be toxic or harmful or painful to us. And we're placing ourselves in a situation where we feel we're closer to our true nature, more and more aware of that true nature inside. So those are some ideas, but also feel into for yourself as you take refuge in your practice this morning. What does that mean for you? And what might it mean for you then to take refuge in the teacher, which could be the teacher in Buddhism, it's the Buddha, or you might have a teacher in your heart, someone who's offered a light to you on the path, or it could be the teacher within your own heart, What might it mean for you to take refuge in the teachings, the principles and the practices, the teachings of wisdom, both in yoga and perhaps on the planet? Or maybe for you, it's a specific aspect of the teachings. You take refuge in the teachings of nonviolence, or the teachings of commitment, the teachings of surrender. And what does it mean for you to take refuge in the community, in the Sangha, even as we're practicing on Zoom? What does it mean for you to feel that you are part of the community and that the community is welcoming you right now? And we are also a part of a community that is much wider than just this particular Zoom class at this particular time. With those reflections now alive in your awareness and in your body, begin to bring the Ujjayi breath in. So it's a smooth, subtle sound between inhale and exhale, moving the air slowly, just about an equal volume in and an equal volume out. And please do that for two more Ujjayi breath cycles. Bring your hands together at your heart. And this morning we'll chant the chant that actually says we take refuge in the teacher, in the teachings, and in the Sangha. And again, with any translation for you that's personally meaningful to you and your heart. And the chant, the words are Buddha, Saranam, Gacchami, Dharma, Saranam, Gacchami, Sangha, Saranam, Gacchami. So the first word of each line is different. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, the teacher, the teachings, the community. And the next two words are the same. Saranam, Gacchami. I'll sing each line twice so you can listen and then respond if you like. Buddha, Saranam, Gacchami. Buddha, Saranam, Gacchami. Dharma, Saranam, Gacchami. Dharma Saranam Gacchami. Sangha Saranam Gacchami. Sangha Saranam Gacchami. Once more through. Buddha Saranam Gacchami. Dharma Saranam Gacchami. Sangha Saranam Gacchami. So in whatever way it's meaningful to you, taking refuge in the teacher, in the shared teachings, and in the community of which you are a contributing member. You may bow your head to your heart, release your hands, open your eyes. And so one of the ways that we keep the mind and body cool during our physical practice is using the pranayama, as if the pranayama were like it's your moderator or your regulator valve. Right? You are regulating parts of the nervous system. So if the Ujjayi breath is smooth and consistent, generally speaking, you're not likely overworking. The sound, the more subtle, then even more elegant. And as well, if the exhale is a little bit longer than your inhale, you are less likely to overheat yourself. So if we can tempo the breath to be inhale and then exhale +2, so your exhale is consistently about 2 paces longer than your inhale, you'll be massaging the nervous system in that direction of keeping the mind cool, like the moon, the Chandra, the moon in the night sky. And the full moon is here at Brighton Bush. I've been seeing it at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in my window up here in the home. And then, of course, walking across the footbridge in the morning. So thinking of it like you're supporting the moon quality within you. Let's practice that Ujjayi inhale, exhale +2 in a couple of familiar poses that are not so demanding that it's likely to cause you to sort of fail at it. Fail is in quotes there. So just begin sitting in Siddhasana, and let's get the tempo of the breath sorted through. Begin with your in-breath and count it gently to yourself. And then notice your exhale and see if you can pace that to be 2 counts longer. Which will mean that you're moving the same volume of air, but a little bit more slowly. Now maintaining the elegance of the breath that you've established, cross your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. While the physical pose does have some structural elements to it, pay less attention to the physique and more attention to the breath. Notice how you bring the breath with you into the pose. Just inhale, exhale, +2. The exhale is 2 paces longer because you're moving the same volume of air but more slowly. You can complete the next exhale and then return to face forward. Maintaining the breath, cross your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. So rather than thinking about the physicality or the density of the body and having to sort of push through that, we're kind of treating the mind as our central aspect this morning, and we're going there through the breath. So notice that even to do the breath like this, you have to give a certain amount of concentration. When you complete your next exhale, come around to face forward. And then taking both blocks with you, please walk forward. So whichever foot you have in front right now, you're going to get the chance to change it in your seat. But as we walk forward, walk your hands forward and come into a little forward bend. You're keeping the torso open so it's kind of aerated. When you come forward like this, imagine the inhale climbing up the front line of the spine, and exhale the same, rising up through the spine. Now keeping your right hand forward on the block, take your left hand to your left knee and add a twist of the inner belly to your left. So the right side waist is shorter than the left side waist right now. And so we're squeezing the ascending colon as we twist to the left. Rotate around to face forward. Walk the left hand out over the block. Take your right hand to your right knee and twist to your right. So the left side waist has been shortened and you're giving a little squeeze to the descending colon. And in the process of twisting right now and keeping the breath with you, notice again, you have to add this layer of mental concentration, like mental stewardship. One more breath here, please. And then walk about to face forward. Walk your blocks back and rise up to sitting. And just pause to notice the quality of your mind. In terms of taking refuge in the teachings, there isn't a teaching that recommends impatience or urgency or frenzy. There are teachings for gentleness, mardava. There are teachings for equanimity, upekshanam. Teachings for discernment. Discernment is sometimes called discrimination. In the word, in Sanskrit, it's viveka. Okay, please switch which foot is in front and which foot is behind. And keeping the ujjayi breath steady. Please cross your left hand over your right knee and rotate to your right. Now, so long as the breath pace is sustainable, begin to stay rotated to the right, but side bend to your left. You may raise the right arm, up. So maintain your twist to the right as you add this side bend to the left. Lean out over your left thigh. And follow your next exhale to rise back up to your seat. And then rotate around to face forward. Okay, now taking the right hand, cross over to your left knee, left hand behind. Bring the breath with you. So you are stewarding, chaperoning your experience. That means you are stewarding your mind with the breath. With the right hand fixed firmly, begin to side bend to your right. And then raise your left arm. As you add to the side bend, do not add to the effort. So bring the elegant effort with you. And then rising up. Rotate around to face forward. Bring both blocks with you. And as you now walk forward to those two blocks, walk forward first with the hands out. Right hand, right shoulder, left hand, left shoulder. And then place your right hand on the left block and your left hand on your left knee and add a little twist to your left. Now the twist this time is going to be closer to your left thigh because we moved the right hand from the right block to the left block. And when you're breathing again, you're still in mind. And then exhale, press down, rotate back to center. Let's walk the hands out. So first they are symmetrical. And then your right hand's going to go to your right knee and the left hand crosses over to the other block. Keep the torso spacious as you're twisting to your right. And each time you're breathing, you have this quiet little mantra. You're just saying, for example, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, whatever your count is. And same for the exhale. So you're fostering the consistency of the breath with the exhale a little longer than your inhale. And then rotate back around to face forward. Walk your hands back and take your original seat here, keeping the ankles crossed as they are right now. And check and see once more, what is the quality of your mind? Reminding yourself that there are recommended kind of moods or affects in yoga, like contentment, santosha. Stable tranquility, it's called stitao. What is the feeling tone of the mind right now? Now we'll come back to this kind of sequence a little bit later in class, and we'll have one leg extended, so you're going to be feeling into the hips and hamstrings a bit more. This may have felt more like pelvis and spine. Keeping that with you, let's come over to table pose, please. And I would like you to have one block for each hand in this table pose. So your cat and cow are going to be a little bit taller up. Let me put a blanket for my knees just a moment. Okay, so in this case, when the hands are on the blocks, let's come to cow pose. Lengthen forward through your heart, your throat, and your chin. But notice when you set up your head and throat posture, what is the sound of the breath? And modify where you're placing your head and neck alignment so the breath sound is still smooth. So if you were playing a flute, we would not hear you making like a screechy sound in the flute. It would still be smooth. So no sense of straining when you set up the posture here, and then you'll hear the Ujjayi sound is consistent. You are stewarding the mind by making these choices, and how you feel into it is by the research with your own body. And listening deeply inside, your body's going to be able to give you the information that you need. And then come into the cat pose. And as you take the tailbone down, curl your chin in towards your throat. And again, kind of any amount for you where the breath sound is still really consistent. And we're going to be moving between these two poses and the downward dog pose and child's pose. So let's do it together now. And we're going to, this morning, we're going to inhale into the cow pose. Exhale to downward facing dog pose. Raise your hips high. Inhale forward and down to your cat pose. Exhale back and down to your child's pose. Inhale, undulate forward to cow pose. Exhale, raise high to downward facing dog pose. Inhale, parachute down to the cat pose. And exhale, reach back to the child's pose, keeping the length of the exhale a couple paces longer than your inhale. And once more, inhale, roll forward all the way to cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale to your cat pose. And exhale back to child's pose. Walk your hands back to your knees and rise up to kneeling. And pause here just for a moment, rising up to kneeling, and sense again, what now is the quality of your mind? How are you doing chaperoning your experience and trusting your body's intelligence to really give you a good collaborative opportunity? Buddha saranam gacchami, Dharma saranam gacchami, Sangha saranam gacchami. Now we're going to return to table pose and add a twist to that. So when you come, please come onto both blocks to start. If you have the two hands symmetrically on the blocks, you are likely having the spine not really twisting left or right. Place the left hand down in the center of the two blocks, you've already twisted your spine to the right. Vice versa, if you put the right hand in the middle and the left hand on its block, you are twisting your spine to the left. Okay, so let's place the left palm down in the center. And then inhale, whatever the length of your in-breath is. And exhale, open your right arm out to the side. So you're balancing on the left hand, a little bit like a tripod because the knees are hip distance. And your left hand, if you were to draw a line down the mat, is in the center of the knees. So inhale, twist to your right. And exhale, come back out to the airplane position of your right arm. Keep the left elbow and shoulder stable. Inhale, twist to your right. And exhale to the airplane position without collapsing onto your left shoulder. Keep it steady. Once more, inhale. Notice the push reflex with your left arm. The reach reflex with your right arm. Now come to your airplane position. Place your right hand on the right block, left hand on the left block. Now, if you felt that your abdominal muscles were working there too, that is also the case. Right hand in the center. Inhale. And then exhale, open your left arm to the airplane position and check the function of your tripod. And inhale, twist to your left. Exhale, return to your airplane pose. Notice what you're doing with your right shoulder. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, level off. Once more, inhale, twist left. And exhale to level off. Place your left hand, your right hand, scooch back to Vajrasana. Again, kneeling. Notice the shoulders, the upper back. You might be releasing some heat as a result of doing the practice. Notice if that particular sequence made you feel like over-efforting. Like how strong is that temptation right now? So one principle that we use in the yoga asana is like how much effort is actually required? Where are we going? Are we goal oriented or process oriented? Are we outcome oriented or the journey oriented? And you'll start sensing those things about yourself. It's a question you can ask for yourself about your orientation to your yoga and also your off the mat yoga. So we're going to come to a pose from yesterday's practice, and I'm going to give a little addition to it. Please step your right foot forward between the two blocks and the left foot back. And if possible, straighten your right leg and your left leg. The left heel behind you is going to be lifted for now so that both feet are on the parallel tracks like cross-country skis. Come up to your fingertips. And then as you inhale, lengthen your spine and your heart forward like cow pose. And check again, where do you place your throat to support the smoothness of the breath? So your inner experience is really yours to steward, to chaperone, as I was saying. And then exhale, press into your fingertips, bring the spine into cat pose, excuse me. Okay, inhale, forward to the cow pose. Exhale, inward to the cat pose. Strengthen your legs, press into your arms, and move like the cool feeling of the moon in the night sky. Inhale, glide forward. You're in no particular hurry. Exhale, using your cat pose spine to go inward and downward through the legs and arms to your feet and hands. Inhale, glide forward. And then exhale, and just bring your spine into what you would think of as a table pose here. Pivot your left heel to be firm on the floor now, pivot it slightly in. Bring the block for your left hand to the center, just beneath your heart. And float the right arm out to the side. So just here, can you find that airplane position that we had a few moments ago? Press firmly into your left arm, hug the right outer hip, and root your left heel, inner and outer. And then inhale and twist open to your right. And exhale, return to the airplane position. Inhale, twist open to your right. And exhale, return to the airplane position. Do it one more time. Remind yourself you are stewarding your mind in the practice with the breath. Return your right hand to its block. Place the left block where it's going to be shoulder width apart for you. And let's change sides. Step your left foot forward and your right foot back. We'll keep the back heel lifted for now so your hips are centered and mostly level. And as you inhale, glide your heart forward, opening, including your throat, only so much as the breath still feels really smooth. Exhale to your cat pose. Inhale forward. Exhale inward. Press downward with your limbs and your feet and hands. Inhale forward. Exhale to cat. Yeah. And one more time, inhale forward. And then find your way to what you would think of as your table pose spine. So your pelvis is neutral, neither anterior nor posterior tilt. It's level here. Let's bring the block under the right hand directly under your heart. So you've got that tripod feeling again where your feet are hip distance apart and your right hand, if these were drawn on lines, would fit between the 2 feet. So Sweep the left arm out to the side. Notice how you're keeping your balance and what has happened to your breath when a challenge comes to the body. And then inhale, twist left. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, twist. Exhale to level. One more time. And left hand to the block. Place your right block where it goes. Please step backwards. Downward dog pose. And roll forward to Vajrasana. And take a seat to reflect again on the quality of your efforts just there, and how were you able to steward or chaperone your mind in a pose that had a little bit more exertion and complexity. Yesterday, you learned a breathing technique that we use for cooling. It's called Chandra Vedana. We're going to practice that technique now and see what it does with the heat that may have come from the exertion, depending on how much you caught yourself in overexertion or overstriving, for example. So take the right hand and put the first two fingers in to the center of the palm, like this. Place your thumb against your right nostril. You're going to be practicing inhale left, and then exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right, and so on like that. Now, if possible, start at the pace that's just comfortable enough to get used to it, and then take the exhale plus 2. And so as the breath becomes more smooth, as you feel like it's possible, now you have inhale, exhale plus 2 counts. A few more breath cycles, please. the end of the second breath cycle from there. You can release your right hand down, and let's just take notice of the quality of the mind. For those of us who are here this morning for yoga practice, we are fortunate to have a practice and some teachings and a community in which our life is being kind of guided or chaperoned or shepherded. We know that many other people are in the same heat wave or other circumstances of adversity or difficulty, and they don't have a practice or a community or a teacher. So how their brains will be responding will be based on more the animal conditioning that we have at what we call the first three chakras. We all have this. So we also have our animal conditioning, and then we have our yoga conditioning, our student conditioning, the rising up towards the heart chakra, and then fifth and sixth and seventh. So right now I'd like us to practice for the next portion of class, just keeping in mind all of the others on the planet who do want to awaken from suffering and alleviate pain, and the others who don't know much about it and who are in pain. And we can even keep in mind those who don't know much about the whole matrix of life and they're causing pain. So this part of our practice, we're going to be referencing, may the merits of our practice benefit others. As I practice right now, and I include in my heart a kind of prayer that other people will be suffering less or causing less suffering as well. So I'd like you to have two blocks for this. And the first block is going to go on the medium setting like this. This is for your heart. The second block is for the head. It goes like this. And that goes behind you this way. We are going to be sitting and then lying back over these blocks. And so when you get there, place your shoulder blades on the first block and your head on the second block. Take the arms out to the side to begin in a T shape. This is a back bend. Good morning to your upper back. When the arms go out in a T shape, you might notice that the back of your hands, and I hope the back of your wrists, are coming down towards the floor. I also hope that your elbows reach the floor. Your elbows may not reach the floor depending on how flexible your upper back is, and of course how long the upper arms are. Let's see what we can do here now with the breath. So the inhale, beginning in the first third of the torso, moving to the mid third, moving to the upper third, uninterrupted, but be aware of kind of equally portioning the breath. And the exhale still 2 counts longer than your inhale. When you're working through a process like this, the self-study, the self-observation is really essential and potent. When you notice yourself striving or becoming distracted or apathetic or judging, all of that is going to consume your mind in a certain way, as it's very hard to send a prayer out to the larger world. And so we have this inner responsibility that lets us then participate in the larger community. Please do 3 more breath cycles. And now inhale, raise both arms up towards the sky or the ceiling, and then take both arms overhead. Reach them long overhead. And see if you can sustain the breath. It's okay to hook the thumbs together overhead. Try to keep your arms not going any lower than your shoulders, since the head right now is elevated. And see if you can maintain the inhale, exhale +2. Again, watching how your mind and heart work together here. And any of those difficult mind habits that cause you to go into the spin cycle of yourself, preventing you from being aware of the larger world to which we're offering our practice. And then return the arms out to the side in that T shape. Relax the breath completely. Remind yourself that as you practice and these self-study opportunities come up, these self-awareness moments, it's not also a chance for the judge to come in and critique you. It's really courageous to be willing to notice things about ourselves, and we don't need that courage dampened by judgment. Place the hands now down by your hips, and please press down and rise up to sitting. And then take a blanket to sit on like how we started class. And when you take this seat, you're going to want your 2 blocks to be close by. And let's put the, I will mirror you now, I believe. Yeah, left leg in, right leg out. Great, I'm just waiting for a couple more of you to get set there. Put the blocks in front of you, something like this. Okay, great. So now the inhale, exhale +2. And please walk forward. And as you walk forward, keep your hips back on the blanket, please. Right hip and left hip. Rotate your right knee and your right toes towards the sky, towards the ceiling, if you're indoors. Now keeping the right hand on your block and the right leg steady, so the toes do point up towards the sky, take your left hand to your left knee and begin twisting your upper body to your left. You're squeezing the right sideways, so the ascending colon. If you can do 2 more breath cycles where the exhale is longer Then the inhale, and you're sending out the merits of your practice to those who don't know how to alleviate suffering, may even be causing pain, and may not be aware that there is a larger pain body happening in the world. Okay, please rotate around to face forward. Walk your blocks back. Now turn to face towards your right leg, and you can bookend, I sometimes call it, or bracket your legs with the two blocks. Let's aerate the torso. So this is open here. Rotate to your right, reach over, and keeping the right block where you can with the straight arm, walk the left block forward. So having the right arm straight right now, there's this push reflex with the right arm. The reach reflex with the left arm is going to help you to twist your spine to the right. Each of the reflexes is contributing to the rotation. And so as you're practicing, root your left hip back and down, and stay with the slightly longer exhale. And notice when you forget that we're broadcasting the merits of our practice outwards, which doesn't mean that the benefits don't stay with you. It actually means that you're expanding those benefits both within you and beyond you. Now pressing firmly into your right arm, begin rotating your lower belly to the left, your pelvis to the left, your mid-torso to the left, with your left arm out to the left, and side bend to your right. It's fun to notice how delicious the pose is. First, remind yourself that you're still chaperoning or stewarding your mind, and asking for your heart and your mind to send out the beauty of your practice, the intention of our practice here, to send that beyond your own yoga mat and beyond our community as well. And let's use the exhale, tone the left low belly, eyes up to and release. Okay, please switch the legs. Right leg for left leg. Okay, put both blocks in front and keeping both hips grounded. Let's come forward. Notice again, you do have this inner capacity to really chaperone or steward your mind. You're not just susceptible to what's going on around you. There is this internal leadership. When that's working well, it's easier for us to consider how we broadcast the benefits of our practice outwards, while we still sense that those benefits are soaking deeply within us too. It's not an either or situation. And keeping the exhale extended, place your right hand on your right knee and please twist to your right. And we're going to exhale and return to center. Walk your blocks back in. Rise up to your seat. We'll be rotating towards the left and we'll bookend the leg with the blocks. Now, you might consider, we've been broadcasting out in this general sense, if there is a certain vulnerable population on the planet that you want to send your offering to, you can bring that now into your body and your heart, into your mind. So we're in a heat wave. The vulnerability of that is not just humans, it's also animals and plants as well. We're in a heat wave and a drought here. And we know that Australia faced similar things. And some of the difficulties there was the die-off of the animals from the heat. So if there's a population of such, of any sort of being or region on the planet, let that come now into your body and your heart. And let's twist to the left and walk out over your left leg, please. While appreciating that we have the strength of our practice and the strength of our community, we can also have a sense that there is this vulnerability that we want to stay connected to. Press the left arm straight and strong, something like this, and the right arm out over, reaching. So the left arm is the push reflex. It's going to help you keep your right hip grounded. The right arm is the reach reflex. It's adding to your twist. Notice how it is for you to be practicing awareness of your own mental chaperoning to support yourself to stay in relationship with not just your practice and the larger teachings, but this larger dilemma that we are sharing with each other and every other being as well. A gesture now of hopefulness or outreach. Press into your left arm, keep it straight and strong. Rotate your belly to the right. Rotate the mid belly, the upper belly to the right. Rotate your chest and your heart. And sweep your right arm past your right ear. As you come down to this side bend, when you're reaching with the right arm, reach within the means of your breath to stay smooth and your offering to be sustained. And then exhale, root into your right hip and rise up to sitting. And let's bring the left leg in. Please prepare for Shavasana. When you come to Shavasana, this is an important time to really nourish yourself. Particularly, it's a hot day. It's going to get hotter if you're in certain parts of the country. So when you set up for Shavasana, make it comfortable. If you have parts of you that are exposed to the sun, you can cover them. That's what I'm doing. My feet are not cold. That blanket is my sunscreen. Okay. So please lie back. And even Shavasana is a time when you're still chaperoning your mind. You still have this sort of inner duty. It's not a place when you're monitoring. You're not like control officer. but keep a light sense of chaperoning or stewarding your mind to stay present to your practice. Invite your body to become really easeful, to give thanks to the earth, which is supporting you right now. Give thanks to your community. We are supporting each other right now, and you are included in that. We can give thanks to the teachings and all those who sustained these teachings over so many thousands of years. And we give thanks to our teachers, those luminary people on the planet, and to our teachers' teachers. You're welcoming yourself to rest while staying aware. Let your body get heavier, more free from tension, and your mind lighter with the practice of gratitude and connection to everything that is. You can allow your body to deeply relax, getting heavier with relaxation, and the mind to be a bit lighter, aware of the larger community of which you are a part. Allow the Shavasana to go a few degrees deeper again. And one more time, let the Shavasana go a little more deeply, penetrating this reminder that you are connected to the earth. And allow to be a little bit lighter, this Shavasana, for the mind, to be able to sense its connection to everyone and everything. Take a few moments and acknowledge the efforts you've been making, and to acknowledge your indwelling body intelligence. So all the systems in your body are also influenced by the heat. They are doing the duties that are theirs to do to help not overheat the organs and your brain. Just going within the body to give some appreciation that those systems are right now doing their very best. And they'll do that better because you've been here for yoga class. You've been using a stress reducing tool. And then giving your attention to the larger world on which we are dependent, the ecology, I like to refer to it that way. And it is expressing itself and the symptoms. The symptoms of our inhabitation here on the planet. And it's telling us what our responsibilities and our duties are. So with some awareness and some porousness about that in your heart, just slightly deepen your breath. And when you're ready to come back to sitting, please make a thoughtful transition. When you come up to sit, take an upright seat, please, with a slight bow of the chin towards the throat and a little lift of the heart. So something that we learn in yoga is this kind of bidirectional responsivity. We are neither an individual unit on our own, nor are we only that connection to everything and everyone else. In this practice, you are stewarding your mind and your body, using the breath. Just notice how that's been for you. And we shared an awareness of our interconnection with all others, and our desire to send a positive message outwards, to send something beneficial. Notice how that has been for you also. We're going to practice sitali, the pranayama, and then we'll just sit in silence for a couple minutes. So making the tongue like a straw, or you're practicing sitkari because your tongue doesn't curl. So you're putting the tongue behind the top two teeth. We'll inhale through the mouth really slowly, like an air conditioning, and we'll exhale through the nose slowly. You do not need to make the exhale now longer than the inhale. That might cause strain for those of you who are just learning this technique. So only go under the intention for not making yourself breathless. Let's begin. Twice more, please. At the end of those 2 breath cycles, then rest in the simplicity. It's the simple presence of being here together. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Please raise your hands to your heart.